Earlier in the week, another research think tank ranked economies around the world. Well, it saw America land in a very unflattering spot. The Prosperity Index, we ranked number 10. Now, this one particular index used 8 categories. I got to tell you, 4 of them were really dubious, things like social responsibility. But 4 categories in my mind were legitimate: the economy, entrepreneurship, governance, and education. So, Tom, no matter how seriously we take these reports, because they come out all the time, I don't think there's any doubt that our competitive nature is waning, entrepreneurship is waning, and even lower education, not higher education, is waning.
Across the board. Why do you think there was a big shakeup on Tuesday? People are looking around and going, what's happened? And I absolutely agree, sadly, that we're not as competitive. We have become more Europe, and God forbid, Russia has become more capitalist.
China has become capitalist. Yes. Vietnam has become capitalist. Here's the thing, Dee Dee. In no way, shape, or form do I think Norway is better than us. Norway came in first, okay? But there is a message to these sort of rankings.
Yeah, the problem is we've had a socialistic president, period. I mean, he wants to be Europe. He wants to be France. It's ridiculous. Thank goodness we won this midterm so we can stop this guy. He wants to do things in an un-American way, and that's just the truth. That is why it was overwhelmingly voted against, to have a firewall against this guy. And you know what? We're still number 1. We've just had a hiatus thanks to this president.
But the problem is, how do you get this fixed? My word is always confidence. Get confidence back, American people. The problem is the 4 that you mentioned there, Charles. You have governance. That's obviously related to the government. Education, lower education, that's going to be government as well. Economy, somewhat tied there. Entrepreneurship with regulations tied to the government. So all 4 of those, how do we fix it? It does go back to the government. I don't care how confident we are. That's going to weigh on us.
But it goes to government policies, too, though, right? I mean, it's so funny because the SBA, put out a release on how many loans they made last year. But there's also another report out that says that everywhere that the SBA makes a loan, wages go down because they don't make it based on, it's not like, one of these things where they base it on potential. They base it on, okay, we want to make sure X amount go to women, X amount go to blacks, X amount go to Hispanics, not X amount goes to the guy with an amazing business model and all he or she needs is an extra push.
He can't get the money, right? Which is concerning. But this prosperity index, it's all about measuring, wealth and well-being of a country. There's a couple other factors. I know you didn't put them up there, but they concern me. One was safety and security.
Yes,
we ranked 31. People
honestly,
don't feel safe and secure
Did you read that, though? It said women walking down the street. I mean, this is not, Chicago. Well, it might be.
You know what?
Forget it. Chicago. I was going to say it wasn't Chicago in 1970, but Chicago in 2014 is pretty scary, too.
Yeah, but I took the subway over here today, and to be honest, got, harassed 3 times on my way to the studio. So, I think there is something about the whole safety and security that concerns me. We do need to fix that.
But it wasn't like that before. It's this president.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious. It's true. You want to laugh, but it's absolutely the truth. The policies, too.
Demographically, Norway is a yaw sure you betcha, all a bunch of blonde-haired, sweet Norwegians. They're all there. It's a very homogenous society. They really are.
They're sort of like a village. You're right. We're still number 1 in the world. We just are. We've just had a bad run with this president.
We have to improve entrepreneurship. The regulations and the impediments to starting new businesses are what's destroying America. And as soon as we fix that, everything will change, including education will improve. It'll all stem from that. We've got to instill an entrepreneurial
if you go to Hong Kong, they have almost no rules in Hong Kong. In other words, they've got freedom to do whatever they want to do.
That's a good thing.
It's wildly prosperous.
That was the other area that we did not score well. We were 21 on freedom. Just, people don't feel they have
I don't understand how the freedom, the safety. I want you to name 30 countries that you feel more safe in than America. I'm not buying that. The freedom, I'm not buying either. These studies, you take it for what it's worth, but it goes back, I believe, to you have to change, as you mentioned, government regulation, government policies. That will instill the confidence that we need as Americans to step forward and start more companies. Not the loans, but actually want to get out there and start more companies.
Indeed, you're saying after Tuesday, that's where...
No, that's a big boost. It's saved us. If we had 2 more years of this guy without having a firewall, we would be in huge trouble. He's really taken our country down, but we're still number 1. So Norway, have fun with that.
But still, Tom, I would say, though, and I think Matt made the point, how do we spark now Main Street? Because despite Tuesday's election, I don't. Someone who was afraid to start a business on Monday is still not ready to start one today.
I don't know. I've started a few businesses in recessions, and it's been fine. You can make your own economy. You don't need to worry about the economy. You can make your own.
Right. That's the point I'm making. And I know, like, from the 1929 to those next 10 years, amazing businesses were started in the worst depression ever.
Yes.
But why aren't people doing that now?
We are regulated and central planned so much that there isn't this sense of entrepreneurship.
Well, what about the fact that, the fact it's just a confidence? Americans, unfortunately, are waking up saying, I want to be the next Facebook. I want to be the next Twitter. They don't have that gusto anymore to jump out there and do that. How to get it back, I don't know. Somehow it's instilled the confidence.
The president has pushed the collective.
I don't think people wake up and say, I'm not starting a business because of President Obama. You can't blame everything that happened the last 6 years on Obama. That's what you're doing. You can't do that.
For a lot of it.
It's very negative. The last 6 years, though, the thing that has hurt the economy the most has been confidence. And I think what we need to see now from the GOP and their initiatives is to build back that confidence. That will bring the entrepreneurship.
Let me take a different angle then while we still have the time then. Could it also be that we became a pampered, entitled society? Because that same SBA information, native-born Americans starting businesses was down dramatically, but people who've come here from other countries, they are coming here and they are opening businesses and they're wildly successful. Is it something that maybe the native-born American, we lost our umph somewhere down the road, somewhere along the way?
If you follow Harry Dent and his economic generation, is that every other generation, his generations are 20 years or 40 years long, is you got the Henry Ford generation. You had the Bob Hope generation that managed what the Henry Ford generation came up with. Then you had the Bill Gates generation. And now you've got the group that's kind of managing what the Bill Gates generation came up with. So it's every 40 years you get this huge new stimulus into the economy. It's a cycle. If you believe in the business cycle, Charles.
I do, but I don't believe in the Harry Dent's version of it. And I got to tell you, I believe more in the old story of the Irish peasant who worked hard, saved his money, and when he was around 50, bought his own farm, became very wealthy, gave it to his son. He managed it pretty well. He gave it to his son, who squandered it. I think we're in that kind of thing. I think we might be in that third phase where we're sort of squandering what we've had and taking it for granted. And it's going to get worse because the greatest transfer of wealth is going to start happening soon. When people start getting this money from their grandparents, oh my goodness, all bets are off.
Charles, we're then forced. We're then forced because we're going to squander that money, unfortunately. You're forced to get out there on the streets again and start it. Because you're not forced to do it right now.
That's how the cycle starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's got to be a
hit rock bottom.
Policies have made it worse. That's exasperated situation. When you're on your health care, parents' health care till 27, what kind of message is that sending?
All right, guys, let's do this.